Alright guys, here's what's on the bench today. We're looking at an Epiphone Firebird. This guitar is just in for a restring. And looks like it's in pretty good condition. We've got a little fret buzz down here. And it needs new strings, it needs shined up a little bit. Let's go ahead and get started on this one. Here we go. Okay, so I've got it plugged in. Let's test on our electronics. So here's the bridge pickup. Center position. Seems good. Output jack seems nice and tight. So I think we're in good shape there. Okay, so while it still has string tension, the old strings are on it, I'm going to take my notch straight edge and let me also put my reading glasses on so I can see. So my notch straight edge goes on here, and this is a Gibson scale length, 24 3/4. And let's just look underneath here and see if we got any relief in the neck. Oh, and it looks like we have a lot. Let me just take my fret guard and see. This will slide underneath there. It's a little too thick. But I can see, okay, so just looking underneath there, I can see there is a little bit of back bow. And so there's a little too much tightening on the old truss rod. So let's loosen the truss rod just a little bit. And I think that will straighten the neck up a little bit. It's got too much back bow in it. Okay, we'll get this truss rod cover off. Seeing a little bit of rust on there. My customer says that he just purchased this guitar. So I'm thinking that he got this somewhere where there was a lot of humidity. Because I'm seeing a little bit of rust on those screws. And I'm also seeing a little bit of rust around some of these tuners. So move that out of its way. Look at that. That's pretty unique, right? So I'm going to loosen the G string and the D string. Get those babies out of the way. Got my truss rod tool in there. Basic Allen wrench goes in there, and let's just loosen on it. There we go. A little bit more. There we go. So now let's see if that made any difference. That goes down a little bit. Put our straight edge back on there and see how it looks now. That looks better. Nice and straight. So now we can go ahead and pull all these strings off of here. And we'll clean the frets, and we'll put some F1 oil on the fretboard. Get it all nice and clean. Okay, pull this all apart. Okay, they've only got like one wrap. So whoever restrung this last time didn't really put enough wraps around the tuners. I can lift this off of here. It's got these nice little chromed mini humbuckers. It's got the handcrafted in Korea by Epiphone, the Epiphone Company, Nashville, Tennessee. So this is a little bit strange right here, and maybe it's supposed to be like this. But if we look at these tuners, they're kind of spaced out a little weird right here. And this one definitely, it's the spacing right there is a little weird, but the headstock does roll back this direction, so maybe they just kind of had to keep it closer to the edge. But it looks a little bit strange when you have this much gap and only this much here. And it seems like the gap right here is wide, but then the neck does kind of start to roll this direction. So that's a little weird right there to my eyes. But I guess that's, I'm not going to argue with the Epiphone factory over there in Korea. Might start the next Korean War or something. Wouldn't want to do that. I will see if these are snug tight. And they do. They feel nice and tight. Little bit of rust on them. And then I can come in here on the side and just a little snugness on these screws to make sure that these buttons are on nice and tight. Not going to over tighten those, just snug them down a little bit. Does have a little bit of, a lot of them do this, but it has, let me see if I can show you guys. It's got a little bit of the stress crack right there. But again, this is a customer's guitar. This one is not for sale. Don't call me and say, hey Zim, sell me that Epiphone. Okay. Alright, let's clean on the frets a little bit. Got my fretboard guard and a little 1000 grit sandpaper that I have folded over. And I'm just going to use this to put a little shine on these frets. The fuck? What was that? Sound like my fire alarm is going off or something. It's the Firebird. It's the Firebird alarm's going off.
Well, that was alarming.
So this just takes a little bit of rust. Now my phone's blowing up, the text messages on my phone. But again, the sandpaper just kind of shines them up. Takes a little bit of the rust and maybe residue that is stuck on these frets. Takes that stuff off. Then I have to move over here to my narrow fret guard and hit these. Not trying to file them down or anything, just getting the dirt and the dust off of them. Alright, let me go check my phone and I'll be right back. Okay. F1 oil. Cleans, conditions, protects 100% natural oils, petroleum and wax free. I'm going to just squirt some on here. And then I've got some napkins down here. Just fold this over a little bit. Smear this stuff in. Looks like a pretty nice piece of wood that they used for this fingerboard. Might be some sort of Indian laurel or I don't know, maybe it's rosewood. Okay, let's just let that kind of soak in a little bit. And then here in a few minutes I will wipe that down, and it should get some dirt to come off of it. Okay, so this just arrived in the mail. One of you guys sent me some guitar polish, Gibson Genuine Polish, 2 packages. Thank you so much. It came in an unmarked box. I have no idea who sent me this, but you know who did it, right? Thank you so much. It's a fresh pack of some Gibson guitar polish. So we're going to put some Gibson polish with a brand new microfiber cloth, brand new polishing cloth, authentic Gibson stuff. Here we go. Let's spray it on. What's it say? Hold on, that weird thing's doing that again. I'm getting my Firebird alert. Okay. So if it was me, I would just spray this all over the place. But this is a customer's guitar. So let me look at the instructions, directions. Shake well before using. Apply 4 light mists to clean on a soft cloth. Okay. We're going to spray it on the cloth. But if it was a guitar that I owned, I would just spray it all over the guitar. But I'm going to 5 for good measure. And we're just going to hit this and clean on it for a little while. My customer did tell me that the back of the neck was a little sticky. So we're going to hit that. Okay. There we go. That's how I like to do things. Let's get serious about it, right? I like to take a little bit of an extra step in cleaning guitars when they are in for just your basic restring and setup. I like to kind of go all out, because if you just spend 5 minutes shining these babies up, your customer comes in and the first time he plays it and it feels and looks like a new guitar, then they are more likely to come back and, you know, hang out at the store and become a good customer that way. Some of this doesn't really seem to be cleaning off of here too good, but we can do what we can do. I'm gonna hit all that off that neck right there. Come up here and hit this headstock. And then also I can take my 10mm open end wrench that I always use, and we'll snug these tuners down a little bit. Oh, that one's nice and tight. Those all seems nice and tight. Can hit this up one time. I can see where the paint has faded on this headstock, where it was underneath this giant truss rod cover. There we go. It's looking good. The Firebird, right? Okay, I'm going to leave this truss rod cover off for a little while until we get our strings on it, and then proper string tension, and then we can take another look at the neck to see how the action is, and there we go. Let's put some strings on it. Today's string choice. Today's string choice. Ernie Ball regular Slinky 10 through 46. I'm going to say for this guitar, this is the perfect pack of strings. Ernie Ball strings, I sell them for $5.99 a pack. Where? Tell me where you can get a pack of strings for $5.99 out of a retail store like this one. And honestly, my shop would be fine if all I did was Ernie Ball strings. I've got all these other brands just in case somebody wants String Joy, or I sold a pack of Pure Blues today. But I could probably survive really well if all I did was Ernie Ball strings. Just got to make sure it's down in the saddle properly right there. Let's see if I can do a little camera adjusting. There we go. Our A string is a 36 gauge. Yeah, Ernie Ball does a lot of different string sets too, where you can get skinny top, heavy bottom. They got 8 gauge strings, they got 9, 10s, 11s, they got 12s, all kinds of different gauges for all kinds of different tunings. If you want some like a high or like a low 54 gauge for drop B tuning or something, they make stuff for that. Because a lot of music nowadays is in drop C or even drop B. I've even heard of drop A, and it's like, what? Drop A? That's how you get that heavy sound. And honestly, I kind of think that the days of being in standard tuning, those days, if they're not already done, I'm kind of thinking that they're done. Guys don't tune to standard tuning anymore unless you're playing old B.B. King stuff. If you've got a keyboard player and a horn player, you have to sort of sometimes stay in standard tuning, because you can't really retune a piano. And there's a lot of old school keyboards that you can't really retune. They are pretty much in standard tuning. But if you're in any kind of guitar band, I think standard tuning is pretty much done. Nobody does it anymore. And things just sort of sound better when they are in E flat or even D tuning, full step down tuning. I mean, Motley Crue was a full step down, right? And that was when did they decide to go to D tuning? 1981 or something? So long 40-some years ago. I think that the Van Halen, the Sammy Hagar show that's out touring this summer, Best of Both Worlds, I think those guys are tuned down to D, full step down tuning. I could be wrong. Leave me some comments and let me know where those guys are tuned to. It's a lot easier for Sammy to sing and hit the high notes when you tune down to D. I am looking forward to that show. I haven't bought my tickets yet, but the Best of Both Worlds Van Halen show. I'm calling it Van Halen. Hey, here's the deal. Now there's bands that are out touring, and they maybe only have one original member. I remember 3 or 4 years ago, I was able to open up for Foghat. And Foghat only has one original member, and that was the drummer. I forget his name right now. I think it might have been Bruce. But the original drummer of Foghat was out touring as Foghat, and he was the only guy, the only living member. And so all these people are like, oh, it's not Van Halen without Ed and Alex. But Michael Anthony is more or less the original bass player, right? But you're not allowed to call it Van Halen. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clip these string ends off of here. So, you guys, by watching, I really appreciate you guys for watching. And you can tell that I'm back here and I'm kind of living the dream, because all I have to do is restring guitars, and I can make a living at doing this, and I can just talk to you guys while I'm stringing up these guitars. And if you want to talk about Van Halen or whatever, you know, you guys help me out, and it gets my mind off of the trials and tribulations of just existing in America these days. So let's throw a tuner on this thing. That one's dead. I just use snark tuners. I need to get some batteries. I've got these tuners laying all over the store. Oh, I'm all the way up on F on that one. Okay, I got a customer, so I'll be back with you guys. And we'll finish this guitar up. Okay, we'll just do a quick tune on it. Putting it in standard tuning, even though I was complaining about standard tuning a few minutes ago. Okay, well, since it's got a little bit of string tension there now, let's take another look at the neck and see if we've got a good amount of relief in there. To me, that looks perfect. Got just a little bit of a gap under the 7th, 8th fret right there, and then all the rest of it is nice and tight. So let me do this. I always just throw every guitar up on my knee. All right. We've got kind of a high string action still. The neck is flat, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the bridge a little bit. And I do have a perfect straight edge that I use for these, and that's this thing. Because this works really good right there. So let's just lower this one. Oh, we'll try a little bit there. The low east side is a lot higher, so I'm going to crank that down a ways, and then just look at it. I do a lot of stuff as far as setup stuff just by feel. think I can drop it just a little tiny bit more. You want your action to be as low as you can get it, but not fretting out. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to tune it up again one more time. Okay, one more time. Up on the knee. Liking it. Really cool. It's an Epiphone. I can put this truss rod cover back on. I think we've got a really nice guitar here. My customer will be happy. I'm going to text him now and tell him his guitar is ready to be picked up. And thank you guys for watching. Everybody give me the old thumbs up. Do all that YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Think about becoming a channel member. Hit my Amazon link. And thank you guys so much again for watching. Go buy a guitar.